visual artist. I paint, I draw on anything I can get my hands on. I would describe it as a vibrant, colorful, dynamic way of portraying literally Black essence, Black life, Black joy. And what inspires me is what I see in the streets, the people that pass me by, the friends that I have, the people that are surrounding me, the way they express themselves, their identity through language, fashion, unexpected beauty that you can find in people you never meet or see otherwise than on the street. And sometimes it's something little that I've seen, like someone totally tucked into their hoodie, almost wanting to be invisible. And I feel like it needs to be highlighted. It's things that I feel like are still unseen. There's a sort of gap between what's seen in daily life on the streets and what is seen within art and institutions, and I think it's also a bridge that I try to build. To me, portraiture actually is really important because it has been exclusively for the elite so long, and I think it's really good to make up for that. Growing up as a person of color, I think you get lots of signals in the world that you're not as valued, or it's not as beautiful, it's not as any negative stigmas. Within my practice, I want to show that Blackness is cared for, that it's protected, that it's beautiful, that it's tender, that it can be all of these things. And it doesn't need to be as one-sided as you sometimes get presented with. How can we tell our story? Just that, I think. Yeah, and it's not really only about Black people, it's really about anyone who can see themselves in that sort of unfinished storyline. So the title for my final exhibition at Roodkapje is Homegrown. I was born in a city where neither of my parents came from, and now I live in Rotterdam, and I tend to get quite confused of what a home really is and if it's tied to places or to people, and I feel like homegrown is something that's coming from inwards. It's a feeling you get from where you're seen and heard and valued, and I think that is something that makes you feel at home in a place, and that's something that I want the figures in my painting to possess, this feeling of like simply belonging and being there without being questioned. And yeah, that's what I try to bring in the Roodkapje space. I wanted to include the whole space. The group portrait is a group of people I saw walking from the subway in Paris. And for instance, the guy taking a photo is standing next to the bar. The girl laying down is just a nice touch of somebody being there. And these people are simply here. They're just being and existing in their own little world to remain untouched and in their safe context and space. I'm born and raised in Amsterdam, in Zeeburg. It always feels like a little village in the city, a little community. It feels like coming home when I'm there. Best friends and my family and her family, it's all like one big family. There was always a lot of care in Zeeburg, and it just reminds me, when I think of the place I come from, to be thoughtful of others, to take care. It really made me, shaped me in the way that I am and communicate with others. My mom had a really beautiful answer when I asked her how she thought that Zeeburg shaped me or my practice, and she said, well, there's so much water in Zeeburg, and I think looking over the waters when you were younger, it always reminds you of like infinite options. There's always more in this world, and I think you always want more. And yeah, it just gives me a good perspective, I think. I wouldn't say I have like an anchored vision that I would want people to really feel or see or whatever, but I just hope that people feel seen and cared for and valued, and to move other people and to move together, and yeah, for people to tell their own stories and to take up as much space as they want and just to do what they want, and yeah.